So, good day, everyone. So, before we begin, let me just share my screen, okay? Okay, so here. Can everyone see my screen? All right. So, good day, everyone. So, our discussion for today is about effective communication and psychological safety. But before we begin, let us just discuss some of the key points here of our discussion for today. So first, of course, we will be defining what is effective communication and psychological safety. We would also be discussing the importance of the effective communication and the role of psychological safety. And at the same time, we will also be discussing their relationship with each other and how is it important to our workplace and even into our personal lives. And it is also included here the strategies for fostering effective communication and the strategies for building psychological safety. And lastly, of course, we will definitely be discussing the challenges and how are we going to overcome it. All right. So, before we begin, I would just like to ask everyone, how are you feeling today? Okay, you can type in your answers here, ha. Like, are you not good? Are you not feeling, or you're under the sheets or the weather, no? And just meh, or pwede nating sabihin, just right. Okay. And then, okay, you're feeling okay. You're feeling good and you're not feeling great. Okay. You're not feeling bad, rather. And you're feeling good. Okay. Your mood is amazing, lastly. So, which one are your emotions? How do you feel? And, yeah. Because why did I ask everyone, how are you feeling today? Because asking how are you feeling, is more than just a polite greeting. Okay, remember this, everyone. This is very important in your workplace or even at home because it carries important social and emotional and relational significance to each other. Asking how are you is a simple but powerful gestures that fosters communication. It builds communication with one another, and it also builds compassion. The connection is there. And of course, understanding. This also plays this simple question. Okay, the simple question, how are you? Plays significant role in creating supportive and empathetic social environment, which is very common in our workplace. It could be toxic for us or it could be really stressful. And the simple how are you can brighten up one's day, right? So type in your answers, no? Then let's proceed with the next discussion, effective communication. So we often hear communication about when we have conflict, communication is the key. Even in the relationship, communication is the key, right? But what is effective communication? Effective communication is the process of transmitting information or ideas in a way that is understood and interpreted as intended by the sender, while minimizing the risk of misunderstanding. It also involves the exchange of thoughts, messages, or information between individuals or group with the goal of conveying meaning and achieving mutual understanding. Well, effective communication, this is a dynamic and it has different processes that involves clear expression, active listening, and adaptability. Okay, this effective communication is very important into our work. No, not just work, but even at our home and to our well-being, because we are connecting with other people. And once that we're connecting with other people, it increases our self-esteem, our self-confidence. It builds relationship. It resolves the conflict, right? It creates collaboration. There are a lot of factors that effective communication brings out, no? And it also helps us to achieve success in both our personal and professional aspects of our life. And as a leader, I guess most of us or leaders here, as a colleague or as an individual, we all need to communicate clearly and confidently with everyone to address the concerns and, of course, to set expectations. This will create, right, in the description, no? Minimizing the risk of misunderstanding. So that's the importance of effective communication. Okay, next is what involves effective communication. Ano ba yung coverage ng effective communication? First is clarity. It is very important when we're communicating to have the clarity. Communicating in a clear and straightforward manner to avoid confusion. Okay? This involves using simple language. Yan. No using of some language na makakapag-complicate into expressing ourselves. Okay? You can also organize your information logically and eliminating unnecessary jargon. Okay? What if hindi niya alam yung ibig sabihin ng sinasabi natin? And that would make or that would create misunderstanding, right? It is very important to be clear. That's why it involves in effective communication, clarity is one of the key factors. Okay? Conciseness, meaning conveying the message in a concise manner. You are avoiding unnecessary details and redundancies. Yan. You also need to be brief in to enhancing your point or parang likelihood na maintindihan dapat tayo. Okay, you have to be concise in delivering what you wanted to say. Okay? Active listening, number 3. Active listening. This, I always encounter this, especially in supportive communication or as part of psychosocial services or intervention because communication is part eh. No? So it's very important to active or to listen actively because actively means paying attention to what others are saying. It is also processing the information and responding appropriately. Okay? So when you listen actively, you can actually reply or respond in a manner that the one you are conversing with can feel that he or she is being understood. Okay? So it involves providing the feedback, asking clarifying questions, and demonstrating empathy. Empathy is very important in communication. Okay? So for the next one is feedback. Feedback. Of course, when we're working, it's always important to ask for feedback para meron tayong room for improvement. Okay? Seeking and providing feedback to ensure that the message has been accurately received and understood. So this can involve asking for confirmation, clarification, and additional information. And you can also correct the things that you did or those expectations will be corrected. No? Kasi you have given or you have received a proper feedback. Yan. In communication also, it involves nonverbal cues. When we say nonverbal cues or nonverbal communication, these are your gestures, your body language, your facial expressions, and other nonverbal cues that accompany verbal communication. Because these nonverbal signals can significantly impact interpretation of a message. What if you are actually explaining yourself or trying to communicate what you're feeling, or just simply delivering the reports, or you were asked how are you, and then your facial expression or para medyo galit tayo, no? Medyo nakakunot. So pero the way you feel is you're just feeling upset or you're just feeling tired. Pero dahil may nakita sila na non-verbal cues, they misinterpreted what you wanted to convey, right? So it will create a conflict. Or sometimes non-verbal cues are this, the hand gestures. Okay? So you can always look at for the hand gestures kasi maybe the hand gestures will help them to express themselves clearly, no? So you should always take look of that, okay? When you're trying to communicate with other people, especially the facial expression. Look at it, look into their eyes. Okay? When you're talking to other people or to someone, always look to their eyes. Kasi yung may iba kasi or na tao na they're very conscious when someone's not looking into their eyes. They have meaning to that, right? So when you wanted to convey something na you're very sincere, you have to look into their eyes. Okay? Next is empathy. Empathy means understanding and considering the emotions and perspective and the needs of a person you're talking with. Empathetic communication, this fosters sense of connection. It also builds rapport. It also gains the trust. Okay? You're building the trust. You're building this kind of connection to other people. It's like walking into their shoes. No? You're feeling what they're feeling if you put empathy, right? And this also help them to express themselves clearly. No? When you show empathy to someone you're talking with, they can feel that they are being understood. So tendency, sila yung mag-open up to you. Sila yung magsasabi ng mga issues nila, 'di ba? Kasi if we're nonchalant or we don't react to other people, usually ano yan they will stop talking, 'di ba? So that's why empathy and nonverbal cues, it's actually a good tandem. Kasi when you're listening or when you're communicating, a simple nod, that's a nonverbal cue, and at the same time, you're encouraging them, no? You're listening, you're doing active listening, and then you're empathizing with them. So you're encouraging them to open up. Okay? So that's the effective communication. And then next is timing. Delivering the message at an appropriate time to ensure that the audience is receptive and focused. Timing can influence how message is received and its overall impact. Okay? In timing, in communication, or in communicating, or even just telling how you feel, or you're going to ask your boss, 'di ba? It's very important to have the timing, no? Kasi you're going to set the mood or to check their mood if they're okay to talk. Kasi what if they're not okay to talk? Then they cannot give what help you needed or you, if you don't have the time to entertain other people, um ma-affect yung message nila kasi they can notice that you're in rush, that you cannot give time to them, so they will feel like maybe they don't trust me kaya ganun siya, hindi siya masyadong nagbibigay ng time. Kaya it's very important to check on the time. You can set expectations to them if you don't have time. Okay? If you want to deliver a message and you don't have time, you can just be honest with them and tell them that, hey, can you please wait for me at this time? Because right now I'm doing something. Now I'm doing something and I don't want you to feel that you're unheard because I'm busy and I want to give my full time to you. So can you give me at least this hour and then I will be listening to you. Okay, or you can set boundaries that, yes, I am available today, but I have at least 30 minutes to talk to you. Is that okay with you? Diba? And with that, you're gathering the trust or nagigain ka ng trust because you set the boundaries na, no? Because you gave the time, you're being honest with this person, okay? So that's also important to have the effective communication. Next is consistency. When we say consistency, ensuring that verbal and non-verbal messages align to avoid confusion or mixed signals. Consistent communication builds trust and credibility. Okay? Consistency means, in other words, huwag tayo mag-lie. Okay? Kasi if we tell things, some things today, and then we're going to tell it the next day, nag-iiba-iba na, then you're not being consistent with what you want to convey. Diba? You're not being genuine. and your credibility is losing, and it creates conflict. It creates misunderstanding, no? So, magkakaroon din ng confusion on the other party. So, it's very important to be consistent. Yan. And then, openness. Number 9, openness. When I say openness, encouraging an open and transparent exchange of information. This involves being willing to share relevant information and fostering an environment where other feels comfortable doing the same. No? Openness, it's not being 100% transparent or being an open book. Diba? When we say open book, you're going to tell everything, right? But it's not that, no? When we say openness, you are open with what they're telling. You are open with the opinion and idea and not giving judgment, diba? Yun It's very important to not be judgmental when someone's trying to open. Kasi other people are very much willing to share relevant information Meanwhile us, kung tayo ay merong judgment, then nawawala yung genuine, di ba? Yung pagiging genuine natin. And then, yan, when we try to be more open, people will feel comfortable. When they feel comfortable with you, tendency, we are encouraging them to express themselves. So, nagbi-build tayo ng safe environment for other people. Okay? And then, lastly, is respect. When we say respect, communicating with respect for the diversity of perspectives, of cultures, and opinions within the audience. Respecting others' viewpoints contributes to positive and constructive criticism, diba? Parang we respect other people. Parang it's actually common for us. It's very common for us to give respect to other people, no? Especially in our job. In your job, you always meet new people, you deal with people, you deal with your coworkers, and respect is part of communication, no? To be effective, we always give respect kasi iba-iba yung culture Iba-iba yung napapasukan natin na culture and opinion. Yung opinion din natin iba-iba because we're humans and we view things in a different way. We're all unique. We see things in a different perspective. Others might others might comprehend the meaning in a different way, but the others may not, diba? So we have to respect their own perspective, no? So by that, all this is actually the key component or a dimension or aspects of effective communication na we have to practice. Okay? So remember the clarity, conciseness, active listening, the feedback, the nonverbal cues, empathy, no? Timing, consistency, openness, and respect. Right? So let's move on to the next topic, which is the psychological safety. So since we discussed about effective communication, right now, psychological safety naman, and why is it important for us, no? Well, psychological safety refers to a shared belief within a team or group that the environment is safe for interpersonal risk-taking. In psychologically safe environments, individuals feel comfortable expressing themselves, sharing their ideas, taking risks, and being vulnerable without fear of negative consequences, such as humiliation, retribution, or isolation. Okay. Psychological safety is something that is incredibly important to our workplace. But many understand what is it or what matters, no? Ano ba yung importance niya? Well, psychological safety empowers employees, Employees, us, or everyone, not just employees, to take risk and be courageous. It is also about feeling comfortable, okay? comfortable, and accepted, right? I encounter a lot, no, in my practice and my work. I encounter a lot where in the workplace is they don't feel safe. Okay, my patients, my clients, they don't feel safe because there are bullies, no, there are toxic people, toxic workmates. So tendency they don't communicate what they feel. They just keep it in, no. So the outcome is it creates anxiety, stress, burnout, and even depressive episodes. Okay? Because yung self-esteem nila affected because they don't feel safe. They don't but they don't feel safe, they don't want to work. They all feel negative because hindi nasa-satisfy yung safetyness nila as part of their well-being. Okay? So, people who feel safe, yan, are willing to share their ideas, take risk, and accept constructive criticism, and can communicate freely. And people who don't feel safe, tendency, um, TTS, diba? Or tendency, they will resign because they don't feel safe in their environments. And with this, we're going to know how are we going to build safer environment, no? Or this psychological safety for everyone. Psychological safety, it also helps to build trust, confidence, communication, and healthy environment. Okay? So psychological safety is really important to our well-being. Actually, in part of well-being is aside from other aspects like intelligence, your physical health, emotions, social, spiritual, job is one factor of our well-being if nasa-satisfy ba natin siya. Environment is also one factor of our well-being. So, if we don't feel safety, then our well-being is at risk. Okay? So, how are we going to, or what involves psychological safety? How are we going to enhance or to increase our psychological safety? Okay. For number one is open communication. Earlier we discussed about being open, no, openness, no. Actually, that's these two is actually these two are very much related to one another. Kasi some of the aspects of effective communication is also are also part of having psychological safety, no. So open communication meaning you can feel free to voice out your opinion. Yan. You are free to ask questions and contribute ideas without the fear of uh, being criticized or without the fear of being punished. Okay? This open communication fosters to a culture of transparency. Okay? So, by that, we have to know how are we going to communicate, no? Kaya it is important na malaman natin later on what are the strategies. Right? And then number two is risk-taking. Individuals feel empowered to take calculated risk and propose innovative ideas without the fear of backlash. Okay? This encourages creativity and experimentation within the team. So, risk-taking, actually meron tong pros and cons. Diba? Before we take the risk, we also need to communicate. Yan. We have to communicate before we took the risk or before we take the risk. Kasi, um, although this encourages creativity, pero at the same time, we have to be careful rin, no? Para hindi mag-backlash sa atin yung ni-risk natin, no? And at the same time, if we do have an open communication, it is easier for us to take the risk kasi we know that people or our colleagues will support us. Okay? Having that support system is also important in psychological safety. Right? Non-punitive atmosphere. So mistakes are viewed as opportunities for learning and team members are not punished for making them. Instead, there is a focus on understanding the root cause and finding the solutions. Yan. So, meaning, when we commit mistakes, no, um, let's try to, let's try to understand kung saan nangyayari. Mostly kasi, yeah, I experienced this with with my patients, no. So, merong iba na napapunish, merong iba na hindi, merong iba na as punishment, ang gagawin ng iba nilang coworker or colleague ay hindi papansinin, di ba? And that will create impairment in their own well-being. So, by that, we have to be more empathetic. That's why, meron tayong effective communication, di ba? So, this is for us to understand, no? To understand the root cause and try to find the solution para ma-feel natin na yung mistakes, they're not actually, mistakes is equal to punishment. But mistakes is equals to improvement and opportunities dapat, no? And the next is empathy and support. Team members demonstrate empathy towards each other and supporting one another during the challenges. And when they do have empathy and support, it means you have to celebrate your success. Okay? Because in psychological safety, yun nga, earlier we mentioned about empathy, no? Walking in someone else's shoes, trying to feel what they feel. And then at the same time, you have the support, no? So if you feel the support, ibig sabihin, all of you in the workplace can celebrate small success. This creates a sense of camaraderie, sense of belongingness, and mutual support. Okay? So, nag-i-improve ngayon yung ating mental well-being if we try to do these things. Okay? Inclusivity. Psychological safety promotes inclusivity by acknowledging and respecting diverse perspectives and also yung backgrounds natin and experiences. Kasi not everyone share the same experience, no? We have to respect it. Just like in effective communication, di ba? Last natin is respect. Everyone feels valued and included regardless of differences. Right? So that's how they will feel safety psychologically. Okay? Feedback and improvement. Constructive feedback this is given and received in a manner that is focused on improvement rather than criticism. Okay? So, team members, us, employees, colleagues, co-workers natin, are receptive to feedback. Okay? We should be receptive to feedback. Ibig sabihin, we have to be open in someone's opinion. Okay? And see this as a tool for your personal growth. Kasi if we take criticism in a negative way, in reality, if you're stressed out, no, it will create burnout to other people. Pero if we try to look it in a different perspective, na that's the reason why they're giving us this kind of feedback, it is for us to grow to grow personally and to be parang to set an example to other people na I can, even if I commit mistake, no, I can correct it. Kasi feedback is very important. Nakikita mo yung how they see you, 'di ba? So nagkakaroon ka ngayon ng improvement, right? And then next is trust. Trust is a foundation. There is a foundation of trust among your work, 'di ba? On your team, on your group, right? Because trust is built on mutual respect and reliability and honesty. This is crucial for creating a healthy environment where individuals feel safe to be themselves. All right? If kay communication kanina, respect is important, kay psychological safety, trust is important. Okay? Kasi when you trust someone, 'di ba? When you trust someone, it feels good that you can rely on someone, especially halimbawa when you needed help, you know where to go. When you needed help on this particular work, alam mo kung kanino ka lalapit. So, foundation of trust is built on mutual respect. Right? So, that's why it's very important na meron tayong effective communication. Diba? Para ma-build natin si trust. Right? So, it's very connected with each other. Okay? Freedom to challenge the status quo. Okay? Individuals are encouraged to question existing processes, challenge assumptions, and contribute to continuous a continuous improvement, right? It's very important to ask everything, no? Kasi iba-iba nga tayo ng opinion, iba-iba tayo ng culture na pinanggalingan. So when you try to challenge, you're also questioning the processes of everyone. So that means you're slowly building the respect. Okay? So these aspects or this 8 item, ito yung some of the important thing or key point that we needed to know how are we going to attain psychological safety. Right? So, next, what is the importance or what are the importance of effective communication? So, there are 3 items. Effective communication enhances team collaboration and productivity. It reduces misunderstandings and conflicts and improve overall team satisfaction. I like the number 1, no? It enhances team collaboration and productivity. Kasi when you try to collaborate with your with your colleague, of course, you're building this kind of healthy environment. And when your environment is healthy, all of you can work like you can work in a meaningful manner na nagiging productive lahat, right? Kasi kapag may isang toxic dun sa collaboration, damay-damay yan lahat eh. So hindi kayo nagiging productive. Okay? So, effective communication is crucial in various aspects of our life, including your personal, your relationship, your workplace interaction, even in educational setting, no, sa mga nag-aaral, sa mga working student dito. This facilitates your collaboration and yun nga, nare-reduce yung misunderstanding. So when you try to reduce the misunderstanding, you're trying to comprehend, no? You comprehend kung ano ba yung mga gustong sabihin ng each party. So you can resolve the conflict. Alright? Yan. It also improves overall team satisfaction. So by that, nagiging healthy ngayon yung team bond natin. Okay? Maganda yung nagiging communication and collaboration with one another. You're sharing your ideas, your experiences. Kumbaga, you're close with one another, pero in a respectful manner. Kasi you're in a workplace pa rin. Okay? The role of psychological safety naman. So, psychological safety, it creates an environment where team members feel safe to share ideas. It fosters innovation and creativity and builds foundation of trust within the team. Yan. Ito, when an individual feels safe, they are more likely to collaborate effectively. Mas nakakapag-share sila ng idea. Mas nagiging, yun nga, sabi natin kanina, di ba, when you have effective communication, nagiging productive. When someone feels safe, mas maganda yung nagiging flow of information ng work. Okay? Kasi may irrational yung parang, not irrational, rational yung way ng thinking niya. Ibig sabihin, they can think clearly, no? They can think clearly and they engage in the kind of creative problem solving. Mas nagiging ngayon, nai-improve natin the productivity within the organization. Also, psychological safety is the key element for creating a positive and thriving work environment. It is not only it's not only enhances your individual well-being, but it also contributes to increase your overall organizational success. If you're a team, if you're working with a team, mas mataas yung ano natin, yung success rate natin if you feel safe inside the team, 'di ba? Kasi ayan nga, when you're not feeling safe at all, then hindi nagiging creative yung thought processes natin eh. Kasi yung focus natin is on the negative side. We get anxious. Sometimes, if the environment is not safe, the coworker, when you're feeling anxious, takot na sumagot ng call. 'Di ba? So, wala ngayon nare-resolve na issue. Right? Walang communication na nangyayari. 'Di ba? So, link siya with one another. So, what is the relationship between effective communication and psychological safety? Okay. So, the relationship, effective communication enhances psychological safety. And psychological safety enhances communication. And it's a cycle. Okay. So, effective communication enhances psychological safety in a way na clarity and communication reduces misunderstandings. Active listening fosters empathy and understanding, and nonverbal cues contribute to a positive and supportive atmosphere. Diba, we've mentioned earlier that part of effective communication, yung clarity, active listening, nonverbal din, empathy, and such, no? Actually, this one can help you these three can help you to enhance your psychological safety. And ito namang tatlo dito sa psychological safety can enhance your communication in a way na a safe environment encourages open and honest communication. Diba? How often do you guys have open communication sa work natin? Like, you can talk freely, you can share with your ideas with one another. Sino dito? Okay? Kasi, I have few clients na medyo naiiba yung perspective natin because they don't feel safe at all. So, paano ba natin siya i-enhance, no? Team members are more likely to share ideas and concerns, and trust enables constructive feedback and collaboration. Okay? So, the relationship between the two is intertwined. And, ano siya, vice versa, 'di ba? Once na meron tayo effective communication, na-enhance yung safetyness natin or yung feeling safety natin. And once na we feel safe, mas nagiging open tayo, 'di ba? To communicate how we feel, to communicate our ideas or opinions, to give feedback and to receive feedback. Okay? So both elements are crucial for fostering a healthy and productive work within the organization. So, yan. So, dito, kay clarity, kailangan talaga concise talaga tayo, no? So, parang ano siya, mostly, napopromote yung ano natin, yung mental well-being natin once na pinaganan natin itong communication natin, no? Mental well-being is very important kasi kapag unhealthy siya, may mga factor tayo na affected. Okay? So, ang effective communication ay psychological safety are components to have a healthy and supportive team. No? These both elements are better equipped to communicate openly. Okay? So, by this, navigate natin yung challenges natin as individuals to contribute into more resilient and innovative na workplace. Diba? At the same time, para din naman natin ma-achieve itong mga bagay na to be psychologically safe and to enhance our communication, it is also better na individually meron din tayong ginagawa like self-care. Like we practice self-awareness, we practice connecting with other people, not just with your coworkers, but with your friends, no? you can practice communicating with your friends then, and even inside the family, right? The next are strategies for fostering effective communication. Yan. So, what are the strategies? Ito yung kanina. Kung kanina na-discuss natin yung parang kung ano yung mga key components ng effective communication. This time, how are we going to enhance our effective communication? How are we going to do the effective communication? For the first one is establishing a clear communication channels. When we say establishing communication channels, you have to choose appropriate communication tools. Okay? Ano-ano ba yung ginagamit natin communication tools? Can you type in your your answers here? Ano-ano ba? Ito ba ay Messenger, Viber, social media, or email, 'di ba? Choosing appropriate communication tools. Baka kasi yung kausap natin ay hindi into Messenger. Baka he or she is more into a different tool or social media. So, nawawala yung clarity ng communication natin or yung parang yung timing ng delivery natin, di ba? And then, in establishing clear communication channel, setting communication expectation within the team. That's why it's really important na maka-establish tayo ng expectation natin, no? Like, when we say expectation, you're setting boundary with your team. Alright? And then, providing regular updates and information. Yan, it's very important talaga na magbibigay tayo ng updates. Baka kasi tayo yung pina-follow up. Kapag ganun, lagi tayong pina-follow up and wala tayong mabigay. Kasi nga, hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung communication tool na pwede natin ibigay sa kanila, di ba? So, that's why it's very important na you give them regular updates with the task that they're asking you to do or the information that they're asking you to give. Okay? Kasi it's a sign of respect eh. No? They trust you. They have given you the trust na gawin mo tong task or ganito, and then I'm expecting you to do it by the end of the week or blah blah blah, yada yada, di ba? So, give them naman the appropriate update. Okay? So, that will help you to establish a clear communication channels. Alright? For number 2 is active listening. Active listening techniques. Ano ba yung active listening techniques? Well, active listening techniques, it's part of empathy, no? Empathy skill, wherein you need to encourage encouraging attentive listening. Ibig sabihin, you have to be careful din sa mga gestures like yung nonverbal cues nila or even doon sa mga words na sinasabi nila, especially how they're feeling or how they parang perceive the situation, no? Baka stress out sila, so na-gets nila in a different manner yung pinagagawa natin. So we have to listen actively to what they're saying, okay? Paraphrasing and summarizing to ensure understanding, okay? You need to summarize. Paraphrasing means kung ano yung pagkakaintindi mo, okay? You're going to paraphrase it, okay? And then summarize to ensure the understanding. You have to repeat what they're telling based on pagkakaintindi. Okay? Based on what you're understanding. So in that way, nagka-create tayo ng clarity. May clarity tayo, mas nagiging clear yung communication kasi nauulit natin yung sinasabi nila. Ibig sabihin, they also felt that they're being heard kasi you're giving this active listening technique. Okay? And also, number 3, or what you needed to look for is ask for clarifying questions. You always need to clarify things with the one you're talking with. Okay? This will reduce less conflict. This will reduce misunderstanding. So, baka na-gets mo in a way na hindi yun yung kino-convey niya. 'Di ba? Baka halimbawa sabi niya, nag-away kami ng asawa ko. Halimbawa, kasi ganito. So, ang pagkakaintindi mo, naghiwalay na sila agad. pero yun pala nagkatampuhan lang. So you have to understand or you have to ask clarifying questions, no? Para hindi tayo nagka-create ng bigger issue. Alright? Kasi most likely, pag nagko-communicate tayo, it's more of chika. Chikahan, ganyan. 'Di ba? May judgment, right? So to lessen the judgment and maiwasan natin na mag-judge tayo, we have to summarize and we have to clarify. Okay? Number 3 is non-verbal communication. When we say non-verbal communication, this means understanding the body language and facial expression. Okay? Doon sa facial expression, ano na yan? Given na yun. Yung eyes natin, yung pagkunot, 'di ba? Kasi baka may nasabi ka that na-disagree sila. So you have to clarify. Okay? You have to clarify with them kung do you get my point? Ganyan. Kasi it seems that I might receiving this information that you're not understanding me, no? So do you understand me? So may clarifying tayo, no? And the next is using positive gestures to convey openness. Positive gesture means nodding, yan. Or just a simple hand gesture na, okay, go on. Okay? Kasi with that, parang you're encouraging them to speak eh. Diba? Alright. What else? Okay? So that will create like the trust. Yan. You're being empathetic. So once na merong ganun, when you encourage them, unti-unti nabibuild si trust and yung rapport. Diba? So, nagki-create tayo ngayon ng effective communication dito sa workplace or to wherever you are. Okay? Not just sa workplace, but even sa house. You can use this sa house, no? You can practice this sa bahay. Kasi, especially ngayon, no? I noticed kids these days, medyo, aloof sila into communication. 'Di ba? So, why not practice it na magko-communicate tayo with other people or with our kids or with your sister or with your siblings at home, no? Para masanay din tayo na na-express natin yung sarili natin. Kasi, what if we're having some issues within, personal issues, and we can't open up, no? That's why I told you earlier na as simple as kumusta ka or how are you, it can brightens up another person's day. So by that, you are practicing the communication effectively na. Okay. Managing non-verbal cues to avoid misunderstanding. When we say managing non-verbal cues, baka kasi non-verbal cues can also mean hugging, no? Baka kasi once na some of us are hugger, some of us are not, no? So baka kasi pag hinug natin yung ating coworkers or colleagues, baka ma-misunderstood nila na okay, this parang baka ayaw nila yon, no? So you have to be careful in the non-verbal cues that you're giving. Okay? So sometimes yung mga pagkunot, okay? Let's be cautious kapag kumukunot tayo. So ako minsan ganun ako medyo kumukunot ako So sometimes what I'm doing is I just raise my eyebrow para hindi ma-misinterpret yung pagkunot ko. Kasi kaya ako kumukunot, malabo yung mata ko So I needed to squint my eyes para makita ko yung malinaw, 'di ba? Some of us are doing that 'di ba? So we have to be careful rin na ganun. Kasi baka yung iba sensitive into facial expression. So facial expression, yan. It's also important to smile. Yan. Hindi lang naman na problems or issues yung pag-uusapan natin, but also yung pag-smile, 'di ba? So when you're talking to other people, especially when you're talking like just talking about some random things, it is okay naman na to give smile. Pero wag naman na lagi ka magsa-smile, baka kung anong isipin nila. So, smile. Because smiling is being kind to yourself and being kind to other people. And kindness that will also help you to increase your well-being. Okay? And then next, strategies fostering effective. Okay, so hindi ko napalitan. It's actually strategies for building psychological safety ito. Okay? So, strategies for building psychological safety is number 1 is establishing the trust. Okay? Sabi natin kanina, it's very important to establish the trust because consistency in actions and communication, yan, kailangan natin makita to. Kasi, if we're inconsistent, it can create, the mistrust, no? Baka mawala yung trust nila and hindi ka magiging genuine on how they're talking to you. No, hindi sila magiging genuine sa'yo if you're not consistent. Acknowledging mistakes and learning from them. Yan. Baka kasi paulit-ulit na nagko-commit tayo ng mistake and nagsawa yung colleague natin. No? They have given us chance, especially yung mga managers natin, our team leads. They always give us chance, diba? So, those time na binigay nila sa atin, let's try to create and acknowledge what we did. Just sit in, no? And acknowledging mistakes, just sit in and try to feel your emotion. Okay, what I'm feeling right now. Okay, here's what I did. And I felt sad, I felt upset. So, but this is okay. I have a room for improvement because binigyan ako ng time to to learn, to improve what I did. So sometimes you have to sit in and respect your own time rin, no? Respect your own time, but by positive self-talk. Okay? Just do those things, especially when you're highly emotional. It's very important na malaman natin kung ano yung nararamdaman natin. Kasi yun nga if we commit mistakes, eventually we will feel bad. Diba? When we feel bad, yung productivity natin yung at stake. And kapag yung productivity natin is affected, unti-unti nagle-less yung trust na binibigay sa atin. And once nag-lose yung trust, bibigyan tayo ng ibang pakikitungo. So, nasa atin kung bakit rin hindi din tayo nag-feel ng safe, diba? And then, building personal connections. Yan, this is very important when you're building personal connections. Okay, kasi, of course, syempre magagamit natin siya in the future. Right? And then next is encouraging open dialogue. Creating forums for discussion. Huddle. Yan. It's always the huddle dun talaga. Or yung coaching. Yan. Coaching sessions. That creates a focus, create forums for discussion. You can also emphasize diverse perspective. Okay? So, sharing parang one opinion to another. Kasi this will help you to to cultivate yung openness natin and even yung emotional regulation natin. This can help you with how you're going to deal with your emotions, especially when we're all stressed out. Encouraging open dialogue can actually really help you. Okay? When you're stressed out, talaga, especially kapag medyo madaming workload and such, ang pag-encourage na, halimbawa, when you have coachings, no? Or just a simple huddle or team meeting, creating that kind of channel or outlet can help other people or your colleagues to be more open with one another and to share ideas. Okay? So, naliless ngayon yung tension, naliless si anxiety kasi may nagsishare ng feelings. And actually, hindi naman parate, no? Hindi parate. That's why, if just in case you're feeling a little bit parang highly emotional, you can always talk to us. If you cannot open, no, yourself, or if you're, kasi we understand iba-iba naman tayo ng characteristics or ng personality. Other people can easily open up or share their ideas. Other people can not. And if you can't do that, well, you can feel free to come with us, no? To talk to us. Okay? And then we can help you, right? We can help you to develop or to improve yourself. When it comes to feeling of safety and to enhance your communication skills. Alright. And then next is, lastly, itong handling constructive feedback. Yan. When I say handling constructive feedback, ito medyo common to. Na yung iba, they take it in a negative way. Yan. When they say, kasi, I encounter few clients na when their boss or their manager or TS were giving feedback, no? Isa nilang ginagawa, ang isa nilang nafe-feel ay napapagalitan, no? But what if hindi naman pala talaga? What if the reason why they do that is for you to improve and kaya ka nila tinututukan or they're giving feedback is because you have the potential, right? You have the potential to do better. Okay. So, binibigyan ka nila ng time to improve yourself because when you do that, nare-recognize and nasa-celebrate natin yung achievements natin after. Diba? Sometimes nga, I'm telling them, what if hindi naman pala ikaw pinapagalitan? And what if ang point nila is, it's like giving you an indirect na way to improve yourself? What if they notice something na maganda sa'yo and their way to deliver it is by doing this constructive feedback, diba? So sometimes we have to change our perspective and change or challenge our negative thoughts, no? Kasi we all know we're stressed out, and when we're stressed out, we're highly emotional. So kapag ganun, tandaan, self-care. Okay? When we're stressed out sa work, self-care. Right? So self-care tips, pwede natin gawin ay go out, do some physical activities, work out. Yan. Do some movements kasi makakatulong yan to release the stress and the tension. Okay? Para mas ma-handle natin yung emotions natin. You can also do some calming activities such as meditation, okay, or breathing exercises. And at the same time, you can also like in self-care, ang pinaka best ay sleeping. Kasi when you get enough sleep, that means you are well rested, your body and mind is well rested, so you're capable of thinking clearly. Diba sabi natin kanina, in effective communication, clarity is one of the key. So to have that kind of clarity, you have to have this well-rested mind. All right? So, next is overcoming challenges. Right? So, in overcoming challenges, addressing miscommunication and managing the conflicts are the two important aspects dito. So, in addressing miscommunication, you have to identify the common issue. Yan. Kasi, bakit ba tayo merong miscommunication all the time? And how often do we get miscommunications? Okay, so ano ba yung issue? Saan nagmula yung issue? Okay? And the next is, when you recognize or identify, you have to create a plan to implement your strategies to overcome miscommunications or misunderstanding. Alright? So by that plan, so you have to learn from communication challenges. Ano ba yung kanina natin na sinabi doon sa communication na aspects, 'di ba? We have the clarity, conciseness, active listening, we have the feedback. So we have to learn these things on how are we going to do to address the miscommunication. Okay? So yun nga, identifying the common issue, kung bakit pa ulit-ulit. Kasi minsan may mga unresolved issues tayo eh. Personally, yes, may mga unfinished business tayo, pero in workplace, most common na nangyayari ay meron tayong mga parang paulit-ulit na parang task na hindi natin nagagawa that creates miscommunication. Minsan napo-procrastinate yung iba, 'di ba? So we have to identify what leads to miscommunication. And then next is managing the conflicts. When we manage the conflicts, recognizing and addressing conflicts early on. Ano-ano ba yung conflict, 'di ba? You have to identify what conflicts. And then try to address them early. Implementing conflict resolution strategies and promoting a culture na healthier for us and learning to compromise. In communication, it's also important to compromise and to comprehend. Okay? So, remember this, no? Try to recognize. It's always important to recognize. When you wanted to manage your conflict, it is very important to recognize and then try to parang sit in with that conflict, recognize all the conflicts, identify, name, pangalanan natin si conflict. And then next is implement the conflict resolution strategies or any plan. Okay, yung plan natin if it's communicating, then good. No, we try to communicate. It's always important to communicate kasi there are a lot of communication technique eh. Ito effective communication. There are also psychosocial or supportive communication, 'di ba? Pero to deliver the effectiveness of the communication, we have to always know ano ba yung strategies natin? 'Di ba na-mention natin kanina dito yung strategies natin. So you have to learn that, okay? And then we have to promote the culture of understanding and compromise. Learn to compromise. All right? So, this would be my last slide. And with that, if you have questions or anything that you want to discuss with me, you can always come with us and be with us, no? If something has been really parang nahihirapan kayong i-open up or i-mention with your colleagues or coworkers, you can always come with us to talk with us. All right? And we're here to help you. We're here to help you improve yourself, for you to feel safe because ito yung safe space natin eh. Okay? So with that, thank you for watching and I hope you learned something for today. Right? So thank you.
Saving.
Ayan. Miss, okay na.
Ayun, nag-save na rin.
Nag-save
So,
na.
ayan, oo. Biglang nag-ano, nag-lag yung laptop.
Ay,
So,
okay.